But we're not just uniting as Republicans. We're uniting today as Americans in the wake of the assassination attempt on the life of President Trump. Everyone hear me clearly and listen to me at home and make no mistake. The House is conducting an immediate and thorough investigation of these tragic events. And that work has already begun. The American people deserve to know the truth, and we will ensure accountability. I promise you that. I promise you that. This has always been an important principle to us.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us. I wanted to share Speaker Johnson's comments with you. Although he gave similar remarks on various talk shows during the RNC, it's important for you to know that there are ongoing investigations into the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Earlier today, we released a video featuring new information about the absence of personnel on the roof, the unofficial statements explaining this, and details about the law enforcement counter-sniper team. Please watch that video. It's quite lengthy, but I believe it will be very informative for you. Now, let's check in with Candace Owens, who has a very different perspective compared to mainstream media and even many alternative media outlets. I've tried to present the facts without heavily inserting my opinion on what I believe happened. However, I want you to hear Candace Owens' take and then share your thoughts. Where do you stand on the spectrum of opinions? Was it an inside job, a series of catastrophic failures, or something else? I know where I lean, and we'll discuss that at the end. But first, let's hear from Candace. We'll pick up with her as she watches the video of an eyewitness who saw a man on the roof.
So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us at the Brinkles Farm and Greenhouse here. We had a party. And we all decided, hey, you know, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here, I have no idea, you know, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle, absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him, you know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see?
Binoculars.
Gotta be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. Let me say something right now. Take this to the bank, okay? That person was allowed to scale that roof, okay? I am not some individual who's trying to assess the situation and have never been around the President of the United States. While Trump was in office, okay, was around him a lot. And let me tell you something. The Secret Service, there is no person that can get around the perimeter of the Secret Service where Donald Trump is without them being aware of it. I am not kidding when I say that my husband once almost got shot by the Secret Service because he came down a staircase. I was speaking at the NRA, and he snaked in and came down, and they didn't know who he was. And they were like, freeze. Like, we will shoot you right now. So you're telling me that guy walked up and was trying to get the attention, and the Secret Service saw him, and he's pointing, and he's saying, this guy's got a gun, and they're pretending they don't know what's going on? I mean, am I crazy? Do you guys actually believe this was a failure in intelligence? All of these Secret Service agents crawling around and you don't think just what that guy said, that is common sense, okay?
This eyewitness is crucial if this was indeed an inside job. He raises a significant question. After he and his group alerted local law enforcement, who were working with the Secret Service due to a shortage of agents, as we explained in our morning video. Why was Donald Trump still speaking? The government can offer various explanations for why the counter-sniper team was inside the building rather than on the roof, such as a law enforcement failure, resource allocation, or unnoticed positioning by supervisors. They might even justify why they didn't have a sniper team in the water tower, or how the assailant managed to evade other guards and reach the roof. However, they cannot explain why, amidst all these security lapses, Donald Trump continued his speech.
They're trying to now tell us that common sense is a conspiracy. That is the new thing that they're trying to tell the public. Common sense is a conspiracy. You're telling me this guy was able to walk up with a rifle in his hand and scale a roof, and you don't think the Secret Service, and let me tell you, they get there days before. Let me tell you how a security apparatus is supposed to run. Days before, they get in and they look at every possible angle in which somebody could hurt the president, okay? And I'm not even talking about once you get to the Secret Service. I'm talking about if you just have security in general. Before you speak, they will go, hey, this is the stage? Okay, let me tell you, that right there is a problem. They'll mark that as a spot. That right there is a problem. We need to know who this person is. They'll knock on doors, okay? They got to figure out every possible angle that any individual could potentially get on a roof, because you know what? This has happened in the past. People have been shot from roofs. People have been shot from windows. There is a 0% chance that some random person with a rifle was able to scale a roof, unless there was just an unbelievable failure in intelligence. And you want to know why it's unbelievable? Because I don't effing believe it.
This is why I need you, courageous army, to take action. Call your congressman and demand that Speaker Johnson, in his investigation, subpoenas unredacted copies of the SOD survey, perimeter surveillance plan, aerial surveillance plan, and the CST survey, and make them public. These documents, which should no longer be classified as the event is over, will allow us to understand what was supposed to happen. By making them available, we can scrutinize the details ourselves. Candace's incredulity is justified. I don't believe it either. So let's push for transparency and accountability.
Potentially get on a roof, because you know what? This has happened in the past. People have been shot from roofs. People have been shot from windows. There is a 0% chance that some random person with a rifle was able to scale a roof, unless there was just an unbelievable failure in intelligence. And you want to know why it's unbelievable? Because I don't effing believe it. I don't believe it. I want the names of the Secret Service agents that allowed this remarkable security failure to go down. Because I don't believe this. I'm done with this. I don't believe this, not for 1 second. Having been around the president, having literally almost watched my husband get shot because he came down the wrong set of stairs at the NRA, screaming at him. And I jump in front of someone like, don't shoot him, that's my husband. And you're telling me they knew he was gonna speak and they weren't worried about the roofs? A roof with an angle to shoot the president? This guy says 50 yards away.
It's 150 yards away. Everybody knows.
And this wasn't like...
This was her live reaction.
That guy looks incredulous because he knows it is incredulous, okay? He's going, they're asking, what do you mean? Did you tell me? Yeah, I told them. I'm sitting here going like this, right here. Someone has a rifle on a roof. This man was allowed like time to set up. Do you understand what that witness is telling us right there? Now he's dead. Oh, then suddenly they snapped back into life, guys, and they just took him out. They blew his head off. Nothing to see here, guys. He missed his shot, and he's an Antifa person. Antifa has nothing to do with the state. Let me ask you something, world. Do you buy this shit? Oh yeah, do you buy it? Do you buy it? Because if you're buying this, I'm about to sell you guys all sorts of stuff. If you're buying this narrative that's coming out slowly, I mean, I'm a Nigerian prince. Answer my emails. Send me $1 million. Give me your credit card digits. Because I'm not buying this. I am not buying this because I know better. I know better because I have been around the President of the United States. When he was a sitting President of the United States, I know how the Secret Service operates. Okay? There is no, oh my God, emergency. They would freak out if you even did this and jumped too much. You might get shot when you are near the president. When he's actually on stage, they would have scaled everywhere around. Listen to me, okay? They would have scaled everywhere. In fact, in a normal situation, one of them would have been stationed so that they could just be watching in case there was someone that you had to shoot. That's pretty regular after, a president got shot in broad daylight.
He said 150 yards away, everybody knows. And it wasn't like this was her live reaction. Remember what a previous eyewitness had said when they went to the Butler, Pennsylvania rally 4 years ago? It was at an airport, which is obviously lined with hangars. They said there was a counter-sniper team on every single roof, every single one. And then you come to this Butler, Pennsylvania rally, and whether it's, is it just because of a lack of resources, or is there a broader, more nefarious plan? But because of lack of resources and other decisions, which we don't know what those decisions were, you only had counter-sniper teams on 2 of them. On the barn behind where President Trump was speaking, there was no counter-sniper team on the water tower. There was no counter-sniper team. There was a counter-sniper team inside the building where the shooter was. What the hell were they doing inside the building? And if you buy Kim Cheel's explanation, well, because there was a slope on the roof and it presented a hazard, then I'm with Candace. Then yeah, I've got a Brooklyn Bridge that I can sell you. It's cheap. This is Candace, who is not afraid of getting canceled or demonetized or anything else. But she's absolutely right that there are some serious unanswered questions. And I hope Speaker Johnson's investigation bypasses the FBI and goes straight to the heart of the matter. Like I said, they've got to pull those documents, the SOD survey. They've got to get the names and interview every single Secret Service agent that had anything to do with this. They have to ask all of them, why was President Trump on the spot, knowing that there was a credible threat 26 minutes prior that had disappeared? Why was he on the spot 5 to 7 minutes? And even if it's less, even if that gentleman is off on his timing, even if it's 2 to 3 minutes, when he alerted local law enforcement who everybody has a radio, there's enough time that a police officer climbed the roof and confronted the person who pointed a gun at him, and then the police officer fled. In the minutes that it took for that police officer to climb that roof, why was President Trump on the spot? This situation reeks of the Secret Service collaborating with other government agencies to let this happen. Although it's not a topic I like to discuss, let's face it, John F. Kennedy was assassinated by the CIA. Everyone knows it. It's the unspoken truth that no one dares to address. Lee Harvey Oswald did not fire a bullet that made 3 right-angle turns. That story is pure nonsense. He was shot from the grassy knoll, and everyone present on that knoll is now dead, most of them within a few months of the event. This was back when no one had cell phones, and the Magruder film happened to capture it. Just one film. In today's world, they have to be much more cautious in planning these operations to make them appear as the work of a lone wolf. They can't use a professional shooter because a detailed investigation into someone's background will raise red flags if it's too clean or if they have too much experience. Now, there is an entire series on MKUltra and how they program these individuals. There's also a book called Chaos, which details the CIA's activities in the 60s. I've just started reading it, and I believe everyone should. It's quite a fascinating read. But I want to hear your thoughts, brave army. Where do you stand on the spectrum? Do you believe it was an inside job or a series of catastrophic failures? If it's the former, or even if it's the latter, if it's due to catastrophic failures, we need to have every single person who made the decisions that led to these failures deposed in front of the American people. Who was the Secret Service supervisor who looked at that roof and questioned the absence of a counter-sniper team? Who decided to place them inside? If it was Kim Cheel, she needs to be fired immediately. At a minimum, this is criminal negligence that resulted in Cody's death, the serious injury of 2 others, and the injury of former President Trump. This is the epitome of criminal negligence. The worst-case scenario is too dark to consider, but if it's true, President Trump requires a new level of private security. We would need to worry about threats like a Stinger missile targeting his plane and every single event he attends. He would need a cadre of private security personnel who are thoroughly vetted and 100% loyal. This is a very scary possibility. I hope it's not the case, but like Candace, I'm skeptical. What do you think, Courageous Army? Please share your thoughts in the comments or reach out to me directly. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've watched this far, please smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on notifications, and share this with everyone you know. Remember, we have a republic to save, which means keeping Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Speaker Johnson safe. We also need to protect Robert Kennedy, and make no mistake, Joe Biden, who is stepping down from the DNC nomination and facing increasing pressure from Democrats, is also at risk. This investigation must be thorough, and the problematic elements within the Secret Service need to be rooted out completely, or we risk another tragedy. We could wake up in a very different country. So please call your congressmen and senators, demanding a thorough investigation that bypasses the FBI's usual obfuscations. Do not let them sweep this under the rug like they did with John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy. It's chilling when you think about it. If you'd like to support the channel more deeply so we can continue providing this content and delve even deeper, please become a member on YouTube or Locals. Join our core team by turning on notifications, watching, liking, commenting, and sharing our videos. Remember, God is good, and he proved it on July 13th when Donald Trump turned his head just enough to avoid 3 bullets. We covered this in our video this morning. Let us know if you have any questions in the comment section.